You won't believe it, but I've already figured out how Fionna and Cake will end. But before we get into that, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for all things Adventure Time. Now, let me explain. For those torturing themselves who haven't seen them, the story of the first 6 episodes of Fionna and Cake so far have followed our titular characters, along with their surrogate father / technical creator, Simon Petrikov, as the trio hop across universe to universe in search of an ice crown, in order to bestow Simon once again with the cursed magic of the Ice King, and thus restore the magic to Fionna's world, which now, due to the actions of Prismo, exists within Simon's subconscious mind, in order to keep their verse separate from all other canonical Adventure Time realities, as Fionna and Cake's home universe is unauthorized, and the two seem to unintentionally remove the magic from all creatures of the land of Ooh, explaining why the Scarab got so mad at Prismo and wants to destroy them so badly. And Simon seems to want to prevent this, not only to save Fionna's universe, but for another reason that's much darker than you may think, as we are given a glimpse of in episode 2, Simon Petrikov, in which we see him committing the same kind of ritual his late wife Betty used to find him again in the first Adventure Time series. So we can very clearly see that he is still dealing with that grief, and rightfully so, considering everything that he went through in order to be with her. I mean, even taking it all the way back to the base series of Adventure Time, the real meaning behind Ice King's kidnapping of princesses was Simon's desire to reunite with his original princess Betty. So it's honestly not that hard to see why he's so devastated, y'all. But what will the madness of the crown end up really doing to Fionna, Simon, and those inhabiting his mind's universe? Here are 3 potential outcomes I believe are the most likely way in which the show ends. Scenario 1. Their plan works. Simon gets a new crown that restores magic to Fionna and Cake's world, and it makes Simon strong enough to defeat the Scarab. But the absence of the presence of the Scarab causes other anomalies to be set loose across the multiverse. Now, off rip, this is the outcome that seems the most likely. I mean, the story has already been alluding to this happening by the end of the season. I mean, quite literally, in the scene the Scarab is introduced, we see that he has successfully hunted down several other prisoners that escaped from the Citadel after being set free by the list, who also, by the way, I haven't seen anyone mention, also includes Finn's dad. So expect to see Martin pop up somewhere in this timeline. But we see the Scarab on his journey throughout the multiverse, hunting down way more creatures than Fionna and Cake. And we know, based upon episode 6, the Winter King, that the powers of the ice elemental within the crown are enough to hold back the Scarab, because spoilers, he was successfully held within the ice until Fionna dissipated the ice crown and unalived the Winter King on accident. So assuming that our Simon is successfully able to find another crown to wear and return back into being the Ice King, then it is more than likely that the action of immobilizing the Scarab to protect Fionna and Cake will end up doing way more harm than good in terms of its effects on the multiverse. We may even end up seeing all these absolutely terrifying monsters from the Citadel get released again, which honestly may or may not be a bad thing depending on how many seasons you want to see. But honestly, with all things considered, this is possibly the best outcome available. Scenario 2. Simon saves Fionna and Cake's universe by merging theirs with that of the main Adventure Time timeline. Now, this one also seems pretty possible considering the fact that it's already happened. We witnessed firsthand Cake and Fionna manifesting into the physical Adventure Time realm from a portal that teleported them through Simon's subconscious mind. So who's to say that all the other Fionna and Cake characters can't make it to the land of Ooh? I'm sure the writers know all of us fans would absolutely die to see Marceline and Marshall-Lee in the same scenes together, and to see Fionna interact with the main version of Finn. We still haven't got a glimpse of all that, but I can totally see an ending where Simon gains the magic from the crown, restores magic and wonder to Fionna and Cake's universe so they can interact with the rest of the Adventure Time timeline, and then afterwards us seeing their reality just become a part of the land of Ooh itself. Seeing all these gender swapped characters' personalities clash would ultimately prove, in my opinion, to be a greater crossover than Endgame. But what exactly would be in this for Simon? And here's where it gets pretty dark, so trigger warning. As we know from the episode Simon Petrikov, Simon is finding it incredibly hard to adjust to life with all these futuristic humans who technically need nothing of his existence. And to top off all that, he no longer has his one true love in life, Betty, who he has spent the better of 1,000 years longing after and mentally striving to be with. So now it should be safe to say that nearly 2 decades after losing her, as heartbreaking as it is to say, right now Simon doesn't seem to feel like he has too many reasons to continue going forward. But he's Simon, and one of the most beautiful aspects about his character is that he is self-sacrificing in order to help other people, whether it be the love of his life Betty, his surrogate daughter Marceline, or even his beloved fanfic creatures Fionna and Cake. Simon has shown himself time and time again to put his well-being second to that of everyone else around him. I mean, this guy has literally already driven himself insane with the powers of the crown in order to protect and raise a small child Marceline that he barely even knew at the time. But it seems that right now our Simon is lowest on hope that he's ever been, and right now it seems like the second he's able to find a way to help Cake and Fionna, he's he's looking to take the permanent way out of his problem. And gosh, just the thought of that breaks my heart and depresses me beyond belief. I really hope Simon is able to find out how to live for himself, because quite frankly, no character in Adventure Time deserves that more than he does. Which leads us into the third and final scenario I'm gonna cover in this video, which is that Simon, Fionna, and Cake managed to find another crown that is not limited only to the ice powers of Evergreen, but one that is still set to the original intention of granting the wearer their true wish. In this scenario, we see Simon most likely put the crown on intending to restore his status as the Ice King and bring himself back into madness, but the crown will accidentally end up granting Simon's true wish of reuniting with his lost wife Betty. We know that this is possible as Betty was able to use the crown to merge with Gold upon wishing to keep Simon safe, and because of the fact that the crown's original wielder, Gunther, by desiring to be just like his master Evergreen, created the curse of the crown in the first place. But those are just all my personal thoughts and theories as toward where exactly the ending of season 1 of Fionna and Cake will take us. I'm honestly not prepared for it to end, and I'm hoping that there's 10 more seasons waiting for us afterwards. So in order to make sure that, make sure you guys keep watching the show on Max every single Thursday. Also, if you enjoy listening to all these theories, leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel with notifications on would sincerely mean the world to me. Man, let's get 8,000 subscribers. I love you. I appreciate you all. Sun God signing off.
I come in clutch like a genie. Don't talk unless you need me. You talk too much, you need it. All of my bitches look like models, she in love with me. When we link, it's flashing lights and cameras, got a blammer.